Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we're going to be going over yet another game where I beat a 2100 rated player. Now, mind you guys, I've been doing a road to 2000 rated for the past like couple months or so. And currently I'm sitting at about 1500 rated rapid. And I'm working my way up slowly but surely. Last week I dropped a video where I beat a 2150. And then yesterday I dropped a video where I beat a 2000. And then in this case, I beat a 2100 once, and then I beat him again in Bullet when he was more so 1800. Not to be confused with the last video where I beat a 2000 twice. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go over the video, and yeah, let's get it rocking. So I started off with the black pieces, which normally I prefer playing with the white pieces, mainly because if I'm going to get somebody who's higher rated than me, I like to be able to choose the opening and be able to have an idea of what I'm doing. Because when I play with the black pieces, generally it's more responsive, more defensive moves than offensive moves. So we're going to start off with e4. Typically I'm an e4 player, it's just what I like. I play e5, and then he develops his knight to f3. So from that point, I go knight c6, developing the knight towards the center, protecting the center pawn, and opening up ice for the d5 square. And then he goes here, d4. So this is a Scotch game. This is a pretty relatively boring opening. It's very simple. You know, you take or you push d6, same shit, same toilet. So then I just go take, and then he goes bishop to c4, which I was kind of like, okay, he's developing. He isn't going to immediately take, which he doesn't have to, because he's got two attackers versus my one guy. So then I develop the knight, threatening the e4 square, and then he pushes. So then I was like, okay, I can respond with d5 and attack your bishop. And then the sequence goes like this. And honestly, for even though I'll be down, or it wouldn't be down a pawn, I'd be even. I still have a way better position. The bishop's fianchettoed. I can castle, and I have more protecting towards the d4 square. So I decided to go d5. He moves the bishop to b5, pinning the knight to where I can no longer take. So I decided to go knight here. Mainly because it's a part of the opening. It's a normal book move. It holds on to a strong central square, which attacks more important squares as well. So then I go here, or he goes here. Knight takes d4. Totally makes sense. And I was kind of thinking for a second, I could go bishop to d7, because obviously we have this attack here. If I take, I'll end up losing a rook in the process, and I don't want to do that. So I figured I needed to double defend. Here doesn't look good, because then you block off the bishop from ever developing. So I go bishop d7, and then he goes knight takes c6, which then obviously you're supposed to take with this pawn to create this sort of pawn field here, but I decided to take with the bishop because whatever. Knight takes, pawn takes, and then we have this position basically completely even. White has a very minute amount of advantage, mainly because he can castle before I do, and then I still have to develop my bishop before I can castle. Now, mind you, we're in move 9, so normally with more experienced players, they tend to develop quicker than the not so experienced players. So he goes and castles, which I'm going to be doing here shortly. So I go bishop to c5. Best move in the position. You're moving your bishop out, developing, taking control over these squares. Now, mind you, there is this move here, but generally that would be deemed a mistake because a rook and a pawn for 2 pieces, it's really not that worth it. Yeah, the king might be out in the center, but for what reason, you know? So he goes here, knight d2, threatening the knight, and I was kind of thinking for a second, I can castle, I can go here, and I was kind of like, I could castle, but you know, I'm just gonna go queen d7, or queen e7, excuse me. So after queen e7, I was kind of like, the position's still somewhat even. The rook can't immediately develop yet because he has this, or I have this, sorry. I was expecting him to take, and then afterwards, here, and then probably something else to defend the bishop or the pawn, which is exactly what happened. So he takes the knight, and then I take, and then he goes bishop to f4, which is basically the only move that he can play to keep on hold of his pawn. Now, if you look at my pawn structure, my pawns are doubled, but I have more developed pawns. All of his pawns are currently sitting on the starting square, except for the e pawn. And it's kind of hiding behind their own defensives, so I have to find a way to get a hold of that. So I thought about castling here, Rook d8 looks good because you're attacking, but then you have some developing moves that happen here. And then if I castle, he has this move, and I have to go here, which then I lose my rook. So I was like, I gotta be careful. And as you can see, this position is calling for g5. Now, why g5? So because this bishop's trying to defend this, and this is protected by the queen, it has to move back. But then you have this move here. And then if white plays a prophylactic move, like let's say here, I have basically this, and then the bishop's completely trapped. And he's forced to take one of these pawns, and then I'm thoroughly winning. So after this position, I was basically completely crushing, which I'll show you in a minute. Queen e2, developing, going for a double barrel towards this pawn. Now, I made a huge mistake in this opening, and I didn't realize it immediately, and I was missing g5 yet again by playing f5. It ignores the opportunity to kick the bishop and seize hold of that pawn again. So he takes en passant, as I like to say, en croissant. Yeah, we keep going. I take g takes f6. Queen taking f6 was the better move, which, whatever, don't really care. It's the second best engine move. It works. So he's currently crushing, and I was like, okay, f5 seems like the most logical move. Going rook here doesn't look nice, because then after this, well, what do I have? Like, genuinely, what do I have? He has this. He's attacking everything right now. So basically, he goes a3, which I started to question, is this guy like sparing me? I remember live streaming the other night about it, and I was going, am I like winning? Am I losing? I mean, I look like I'm losing, because he's got this really nice battery going down the e file. I might have control over the d file, but after castling, things don't look really good for me, which is what I did. Not really, it says it's a good move, but when you're going against a 2000, this is basically a mistake. And I'll show you. Excuse me. And he makes a mistake, which I was like, whoa, okay. So I was like, okay, how can I move out of the way? I can either do exactly what he's doing, or I can block. And as you can see, the engine suggests going to queen c4. Queen c4 is crushing. It's a fork, if you see here. Obviously, this is protected, but if I were to block, I lose this after this. So I said, okay, I can block and prevent anything from happening. So I go rook f7, which is the best move. Reason being is I can't go here because I'll get pinned, and then I'll end up losing my rook, and I'll definitely be losing. So he goes b4, and automatically I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So now it doesn't look so bad for me, because now I have this nice attack. I have things like this. I have really strong moves overall. So I backed the bishop to d6 instead of going here, because I was kind of like, he could just move out of the way, and then now all of his rooks are active, and I basically just gave him free development. So he goes queen c4. Now, if you look at the idea, he's pinning the rook while also attacking the pawn on c6. So it's an active move, but not for this position. If you were in a different position where the engine was calling for that, then that would be the move. So I started thinking for a second, and mind you, I realized that I was playing against a 2000 rated, when meanwhile we're 20 moves into the game, and I'm sitting at like 1 minute worth of time. So math-wise, I'm spending like basically 3 seconds a move, which is not good when you have 10 minutes to play. And if you look at his time clock, he's sitting at 9:26, so he has easily a 30-second advantage over me, and he makes this big mistake. So I started to realize, okay, maybe, just maybe, I might have something here. So with 3 seconds on the clock so far, I played this. Queen h4, great move, wonderful move. I'll show you why. So you're not only attacking this, but you're also attacking this. So bishop can't block this because you have this, and you know, if king were to block, I could just take, and then I have this really nice developing move. I have this. I have all kinds of stuff. So developing, and I didn't even think I was winning at this point. Honestly, like I was like, okay, I'm one move away from getting mated. Me with my tunnel vision, I didn't know what to do. I was like, crap, I'm losing. I'm cooked. But then that move happened, and I was like, okay, it should be good, should be good. And he goes bishop e3. And I started to realize, wait a second here, I can go here, and then I have these really strong pawns coming in and setting up this almost mating net here. So immediately I take on h2. I was like, this is just a no-brainer. You just take. So he goes to f1, which is forced, and I started to think to myself, I can give him a check and then this, but then after that, I'm not sure exactly what I have in mind. Like, I really don't know. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking. I'm like, okay. I decided to go f4. Now, the queen can't take because it's a mistake, because you could just take this and then you're basically crushing. So I go there. The bishop decides to get greedy and takes a pawn. But I don't think he realized until now that my position is absolutely crushing. And if you look at the eval bar, it is mate in 6. So it's bound to happen. He's getting absolutely slaughtered. So then I make the absolute killing move, f3. Now, if you look at how this is being set up, like I said, this is a mating net. The king is completely smothered, can't take anything, can't really block, and he's forced to make some interesting moves. So I immediately start thinking to myself, okay, I can go here, and then just go here, and it's mate. Easy. But I thought about, wait, that might be a draw. It's basically, and when you look at the analysis, I almost made the mistake of taking, and you see the eval bar is going to drop. Oh, actually, was it rook takes? Oh, it's pinned. I want to say it said draw earlier when I looked through this, but apparently it's not a draw. I'm still winning. But overall, it's mate in 5, and in this position, he resigned. He completely resigned. And I was blown away because it's not only was it just like a bullet game where I got lucky or anything like that. No, this was a rapid game. You can see I spent a minute and 36 seconds on 24 moves against the 2000. And I would never recommend playing that fast in a slow game, especially when they're higher rated than you. It's just not a good idea. It just isn't. So I was kind of like, I'm freaking out. And this had just happened basically yesterday. And then yesterday I beat 2,000 rated. I dropped a video before and then I dropped this video. So it just keeps happening. Seems to be like some sort of pattern going on. But I'm honestly really thankful. I've been going on this chess journey now for about a year and a half. At least for as far as seriously been playing for about a year. And I'm having consistent results where I'm winning. I'm actually showing my skills. And like I was saying in the beginning of the video, I started this road to 2000 ELO, and I'm beating 2000s. I'm beating 2100s. This guy's basically 2100, and I'm super happy, and I'm really thankful for all the support that I've been receiving here on YouTube and also on TikTok. And if you watch my videos and you're on the TikTok, you're a legend. I appreciate you still showing up and being there for the channel. But I greatly appreciate everybody. And also, I'll go over another game real fast because I had beaten him in Bullet, I want to say. I beat him in Bullet, which I'll go over as well. He is 1700 on Bullet. And as you can see here, or actually, no, we're going to go back to the other game. I'm going to show you the accuracy. So you might not see it here, but I'll try to move my camera out the way a little bit. There we go. As you can see here, 89.4% accuracy. So really high, almost 90%. He was playing about 72, wasn't playing at his peak. He played at a 1700 rated, and I played at a 2200 rated performance. I don't know what to say. I am going crazy. I'm going crazy. And I'm happy, and I've been doing great. And, I mean, honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better game. And it was just all on my TikTok stream. So people were sitting there going, how is he winning right now? Is this guy cheating? Like, what? And honestly, with his account, him being a 2000, almost 2100, he is supposed to be beating me about 9 times out of 10. And we played a couple games, and my record against him is 5-1. I beat him in 4 bullet games, and he beat me in 1 game. And then I beat him in rapid. So who knows? Maybe I end up being 2000 rated in the next couple months. And honestly, that would be phenomenal. I'd be super happy. But we'll go over a couple other games. This game here, I played against him. It was a bullet game, so don't immediately crush me. Don't be like, oh man, it's just bullets, not real chess. I'll show you. I did really good. I'm going to move the camera back over so you can see the game. All right, so I played with an 88% accuracy. He played with 80%. This is all bullet, obviously. And I played with a 2100 rating performance, as you can see on the bottom here. And we're just going to start the review. So mind you, bullet is only 1 minute per side, so it's bound to make mistakes, bound to miss some things. So I go e4, he goes c6, going for the Caro-Kann. I go knight f3, he goes d5. I take, he takes. I push forward d4. This is pretty book move order. Normally you want to develop here or go for this, which I just decided to take. Immediately, I was like, okay, I can push c4, but I don't know. I think I'm just going to develop this way, which is a mistake. You know, it's part of the holes of playing bullet. And he goes bishop d7, which is a mistake because then you can hop in with a knight, which honestly I didn't really think about immediately. So then I go here with knight to d2. He goes e6. I go knight f1, rerouting the knight, which just for this opening is not what you're supposed to be doing, but I did it anyways because fuck it. So then I castle. He can take on the knight if he wanted to, but then he has this, and I have that. It doesn't really equate to much. And I'm pretty sure he ends up going here eventually, but he goes rook here, and I go b3 just to keep everything solid and square. I thought I was doing pretty good, so whatever. So then I end up taking. He takes. I take, and he goes queen takes c7 or c5, and I'm like, okay, I can go here. I can go here. I can go here. And then I realized knight d4 is a mistake, it's a blunder actually, because this pawn is undefended. And then what? Now what? What am I gonna do? So he goes and takes, and I'm like, crap, I'm losing. He castles. My knight's kind of hanging out in the center with no real defenders other than my queen. I could bring the rook back, which is supposed to be the move, but I didn't. And then I go to h3 to prevent any knight funky business happening. And then he goes e5, you know, slowly but surely improving his position. And now I go rook c1, which is just too late, just too late. And then I go here, and then I started to realize, hey, maybe I can, you know, get my knight on a good square, and we can go from there. So I go there, he takes, I take back. And he goes queen e6, and I realized for a moment, wait. I have this fork here. So I go here, and this one's a pawn, and I'll show you why. So queen e7. And then I decided to take, which in this position, you can take this. That's why. And that's crushing. Oh, come on, arrows. There we go. Boom. And then you're threatening this at the same time. And if he moves out of the way, you could just fork him. So I go here. He takes. And then I should have taken this pawn, but it's a bullet game. I'm not paying attention. I'm missing some of the good moves. And then he goes rook fd8. And then I go to trade queens. Again, missing the same pawn again. And I take his queen, we trade queens, and then now I have this move here where I can take at rook takes a6. He pushes, and then I decided to go rook a4 because, you know, I'm gonna eventually attack this. If he goes here, I can just go here. He pushes, I can come in eventually, and then I'll end up winning the pawns. So he goes d3, complete blunder, ruining the end game completely. So I take, we trade rooks, and I did the count. After that trade before the trade where I can still come back and then I could hold on to this rook. He was supposed to go here after this and then goes here and then I go here and then I save the pawn from ever promoting. If he takes, and then it's basically 3-on-2, completely winning endgame. And I go here, I go there, and then he keeps missing that move and eventually I win the pawn back. He wanted to trade, I didn't. I move out of the way, I keep pushing my pawns, and slowly but surely, I start winning the game. And after I start pushing pawns, he didn't really have much moves. He went there, and then he decides to take the pawn, and obviously with bullet, I'm just going to pre-move most things. I started to crush, and slowly but surely, he got checkmated, and I won. And this was like a bullet game. He had about 0.8 seconds. I had 7, so I was bound to win, even if I was losing the position. But yeah, I'd beat him, and then I'll show you real fast. Like I was telling you earlier, I'd beaten him like 4 or 5 times. One here, one here, one here, beat him here, beat him there. And I was doing a bunch of live streams right here where I was beating people, and honestly, I was having a complete blast. So I'm gonna leave it there. I appreciate you guys joining the live and checking out the games, and joining the video. I'm gonna probably make a new video on Tuesday because I work normally during these hours, Thursday, Friday through Sunday. But yeah, hopefully I can keep playing like this. This has been honestly some of the best chess I've been playing recently, and I really hope I can continue to play at this level because I'm horribly scared of burn out and not being at the same level I was beforehand. But I'm not really too worried. I should be okay, and we're gonna hit that 2,000 elo mark eventually, and then we'll be able to start playing. And I do play in-person tournaments over the board, and I'm gonna be playing some more of those soon just because I need to be. But yeah, appreciate y'all joining the live and the video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and keep playing chess. Peace.